Welcome to our first off-season 2025-2026 episode of In 90 Minutes podcast. I'm joined with Luke and David tonight. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Good, good. Med and Miss IL may be joining us later. They had some family business to deal with tonight, so they may be joining us in a little bit. But been a busy. It's funny when we were going to do the start to talk when we were talking about doing a show. Um, some David. I'll call you out specific. Was like, oh, we don't have much to talk about, and that was on Wednesday of last week, and then Thursday. Thursday happened. A bunch of news from the league, and
Yeah, I
then
said now we have a show.
earlier today, rosters were announced. Pride had a semifinal match. A bunch of guys on international duty from our club, so we got a full show tonight. But let's kick it off with the first order of business. The Pride yesterday played in the NWSL semifinal match against the New York Gotham. They really truly deserved the win, but unfortunately they just couldn't. Kind of couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Even though they didn't have possession, the possession number, win the possession battle, really thought that they were on the front foot. You see what New York really didn't do much throughout the match. Um, it's a really unfortunate result. Um, New York only had one shot on target, five total shots for the match. That one shot was unfortunately the one that did the Pride in. Their 2025 season came to a screeching halt. They really should have. I mean, they had two total shots, but two big chances that they missed. You know, People will say, and I saw some people say the foul on the edge of the box was questionable. To me, it was the foul that led to the free kick that led to New York's one goal in stoppage time. To me, from my angle, it was a definite foul. Just really unfortunate how they had to go out this season. Rough season, especially with your best player when your best player gets hurt. With what was it, a month and a half left in the season, um, and then you bring in the best, or not necessarily the best, but the biggest record-setting transfer fee in women's soccer history, not just for our league and in the entire world. And she unfortunately had kind of a ho hum introduction to the team. Didn't really do much, and I believe, unfortunately, it was her that fouled the New York player on the edge of the box last night as well. I could be wrong about that. I couldn't get myself to rewatch the match to really give a full in-depth analysis of it, but it's where we're at, unfortunately. Um, David, I know you said you watched the game. Any thoughts on it?
Unfortunately, like we say on the show, football is cruel and unpredictable. Pound of talent, ounce of luck. You can throw all the cliches out there. I have to say that the Orlando Pride put it all out there. I'm not the one to claim that I watch a ton of Orlando Pride, but I was very impressed by the tactics and the play. Just their goalkeeper had a moment of brilliance. Otherwise, it would have been 1-1 at the death, and probably we will be talking about something else, a different result. But in the end, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We have in the past gotten results like that where we win it at the death. It wasn't meant to be. I think the Pride leaves 2025 with a lot of excitement, a lot of a lot to prove for next year. Injuries this year, I believe, did the team wrong, and not for nothing. Last year was magical, and unfortunately, sometimes you have magical runs, and the following season is not what it was, or what it was before. So, with that said, not for nothing that the reigning champions went to somebody else's crown. They had a supporter shield last year as well. So it just like Orlando City. We had moments where unfortunately the ball doesn't go for us, and that is that. So nothing to be ashamed.
Yeah, and David, I did want to ask you, since you watched on TV when the referee blew for full time, I was kind of puzzled by that because the New York keeper had just made the save and then she stayed down, and the ref blew for the injury, and because it was like she was going to let, or and the save happened and then it went out of play for the a Pride throw in. Still,
I
the
believe, if I'm
intentions
not
were.
mistaken, that we have already gone over the 6 minutes by the time the New York City score. I have watched enough football that all that celebration. It's always added to the to the game, obviously. And you
Well, there
see,
was the big injury too that happened with the Pride's keeper and one of the um, New York players there right at the beginning of
right,
stoppage time
right, I
too.
remember that. Yeah,
So I mean, I thought there was going to be two maybe 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time extra, so it would have went to
it
you know
went to 110 before by the time the ref blew the whistle.
it went to what
It went to 110.
over, yeah. So
Yeah.
was that 7 minutes and 10 seconds of stoppage time? I thought it should have been at least 8 because that injury was easily 2 or 3 minutes. Both physio personnels were brought on the pitch to attend to the players.
Yeah.
It was a pretty lengthy stoppage of play. I mean the refereeing throughout the whole match on both sides I thought was really lacking. Um, Orlando got lucky. New York got lucky. There was specifically early in the match, Marta burnt somebody. I mean, it was almost a denial of a Dogzo red card, um, and the ref didn't even blow a whistle for the foul. I mean, it was a yellow card. There was one player back that had a chance at the ball, so it wasn't an obvious goal scoring opportunity, but it was very close, and the referee didn't even blow the whistle. I mean, it was an instant yellow card for stopping a promising attack. But just that's one thing. Both men's and women's side needs to get better. Here, I know people complain about the Premier League, um, but that's just the top 3 or 4 teams being the top 3 or 4 teams thinking they should get every single call, and they don't. Madrid. People always say Madrid. You know, gets every call. Well, the Madrid people say they don't. But unfortunately, here in the states, the level of refereeing is just so poor, and really our sport is.
Evergreen complaint, my friend.
What's that?
An evergreen
Yep,
complaint. The referee.
absolutely, absolutely. So moving on um, to the MLS, the what is it? What do they call it? The conference semifinals, the quarterfinals of the MLS Cup, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. Starts this weekend. Um, in the East, Philadelphia is hosting New York City FC. I believe the big story in that match is that one of New York's summer signings got injured while on international duty. Um,
Yeah, I believe he's with Costa Rica.
yeah,
Got hurt.
yep. So I expect Philly to win that because it's at Philly. It's on a full length pitch, full size pitch. New York always struggles playing on away from
an
home.
actual football pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, and instead of that five-a-side pitch that they play on every week, which is just it's ridiculous. I don't know how anyone plays on that.
yeah. That's it's sad.
It's a huge advantage for them.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, it's shown by their home record versus their away record. It's so lopsided more than any other team in the league. Um, but it is what it is. Here in a couple years, luckily they'll have their own place that has a full size pitch. So looking forward to
I
that. And
believe
then
it's 2027, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, yes, that's true.
Oh, and we got a couple of comments from Ahmed
Yep.
here. This one, I'm gonna read myself. It says Andres Pereira also got injured in that match for NYCFC. So Andres Pereira, former Orlando City player, great dude, really like the guy. So we wish him well. We hope speedy recovery.
Underused talent too. When we
Yeah,
let him go, I was that's one. What him and Daryl DK are two guys that we let go that I thought Pereira was outstanding.
I
yeah,
think I think when you compare those two and you brought up those two names, they're two completely different. Like Daz, Daryl, like DK was just like a bloody phenom. Like
Yeah,
yeah, and like Barnsley were after him, and then bloody West Brom were after him. But Pereira, I used to always say he had telescopic legs. Like whenever he was like in the midfield, he always used to manage to just like poke the ball out of somebody's feet, and like his legs somehow always managed to get there and make a tackle. So I always used to say he got telescopic
and
legs.
that shot he had in 2000 in the Open Cup in 22
Oh yeah,
against Philly, absolute banger. But the other game in the East that most of the rest of the world cares about, unfortunately, Cincinnati hosts Miami.
yep.
Um,
single elimination and away.
yep.
Can the league rig that again? That's
Well,
the
in
question.
Cincinnati, since this Cincinnati is still has
Chip on the
chip
shoulder.
on their shoulder from 2 years ago, and was it the Open Cup or Leagues Cup? They played them in the semifinals.
I think it was the Open Cup.
Was it the Open Cup? And
Yeah.
Cincinnati had a lead the entire match.
I believe
And
it was League's Cup.
was it
It
Leagues
was.
Cup? It
It
was
was.
one or the other. It was 2 years ago. A long time to remember, but a lot of the same players are playing for Cincinnati. It's the same manager. So they really want to bring it to Miami. I know us and the rest of the MLS is pulling for Cincinnati. I'd be pulling since Orlando's out and Cincinnati's my hometown. I'd be kind of pulling for Cincinnati. Not necessarily that I'd watch
I
it.
don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't
going to
know.
watch it.
Maybe Columbus fans aren't, but maybe.
They probably still are
Yeah, I don't
because
know.
it's Miami. Everybody playing Miami is one of the weird things. I mean, we were rooting for Nashville. I mean, I know Cincinnati and Columbus's rivalry is a little different than us in Nashville, but we were rooting for Nashville to win. We were rooting for Atlanta last year to win. So, we'll see. Obviously, this is the majority of retirement of the retirement homes last matches. Was it Busquets said he was retiring? Alba said he was retiring. Suarez is yet to be seen, and
I
Messi
think
did sign his
I think
extension.
I think Suarez is done.
That thug doesn't belong on a pitch.
No, he should never see the pitch again. He should have never seen the pitch again after he bit somebody for the second time.
He's a
But
thug.
yep,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. If anyone disagrees with me watching, he's a thug. He's
no,
always
100%.
he's always been a
Thug
thug.
and a crybaby.
Yeah. He's a thug. I don't like thugs. They're just a
Mhm.
waste of space on the pitch.
Listen, somebody that bites players,
Yeah,
somebody that
lashes out.
intentionally hits a ball with the hand, and you can, and I have seen people argue, say, oh well, the other team he got a red card, and the other team got a PK. A PK is a 50-50. That ball going
That's
in was
what I'm
100%
saying. That's what I'm saying. At the same time, it's like, yeah, he hit the ball out of his net and like whatever.
how he has
I
behaved
mean
in MLS.
that play, honestly, out of everything Suarez has done, that play is the least of my concerns because when I played, I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah, I know, but assaulting.
I feel like anybody with a competitive
Yeah,
gene in their
Okay,
body would
that's
have done the
probably
same.
one excuse, but attacking other people physically, biting,
yeah. It's all the
spitting on
classless.
that,
It's all the thuggery like that. That's just
Speaking on this, the Sounders employee, it wasn't even a player. It was just an old man
yeah, he's
spitting on him. That
just
I mean,
fighting people. What a
we
legacy he's gonna leave behind.
MLS
But
did MLS kicked Double H Herrera out of the league over something like that, and then this
and
guy
he
gets
didn't even make that was in our match too. That was our match.
was it?
Well,
I
Yeah.
remember him
Herrera.
spitting on
When
somebody.
Hector Herrera spit at the referee, he didn't make just the
Was it?
It wasn't spitting. It was like the motion. This guy
yeah.
actually spat on somebody, and the league looks the other way. But
Mm-hmm.
But I
it
just
is what it
can't
is.
wait.
But
When the sun goes down at the end of the day, you look at Suarez's legacy, and that will be his legacy.
yep. And then moving on to the West Coast, San Diego hosts Minnesota. I mean, that'd be something crazy if San Diego made it to the really just making being the
Yeah,
number one
right.
seed is pretty impressive is incredible.
I'm
As it's
actually,
been
I'm not, I don't pull for one but Orlando City, but to see San Diego do what they're doing is just wow.
yeah.
I mean, impressive. It was the same way St. Louis did on their first year.
Yeah, that
So
just
we haven't played them. I don't know if we're gonna play them next year. We wish them the best, but
yeah.
also a little bit of me is with Minnesota. They're just like us, a team that came from the minors. I'm making air quotes, and Inchi managed them for 6 years. So a little bit of me says, oh, I hope they go through. At this point, guys, I don't hold any grudges. I just want anybody but Miami, simply because Miami is what it is. It's
no. I'd rather want a Western team to win than an Eastern team. I don't like any of the Eastern teams.
there you go.
And then Vancouver hosts LAFC, and that's the other thing about San Diego, that it's a little bit different than St. Louis. If you remember, St. Louis fell off. Yeah, they had the number one. I believe they had the number one seed, but they still fell off at the end of the year a couple of years ago. And San Diego didn't. Them and Vancouver were back. Vancouver had a strong August and September, and the couple weeks in October, and San Diego held them off, which was impressive because Vancouver brought in what's his face from Bayern.
Mueller, which by the way,
Muller.
they need to thank us for the 3 points because at the time they were in nose to nose with San Diego, and we helped Vancouver's cause. So you're welcome.
Actually, I take back my previous statement that I said that I don't like anyone in the West. I don't mind anyone from the West. I do not want LAFC winning that
Yep.
trophy. Never mind. They're like the same as bloody Miami. They just bought their way through this bloody league. So
Very similar. They had
they had the bloody Vela. They had the Vela, Carlos Vela, and not the exact same, but kind of similar.
with Bale, they almost had the exact same as Miami has with Di Maria.
Yeah,
They did Bale on the short term loan,
yeah.
intending to sign him in the off season, and then Bale said, "Yep, I'm done," and retired.
A bit of a bit of British bias. I don't mind Bale that much. I think
I don't mind him either. He's one of my
I think he's a bit.
favorite players from that time period.
He's a class player. I don't mind him.
He's Welsh anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still British. He's still British in some respects.
The second match is Vancouver, which is why we're talking about Vancouver and LA.
Yeah. You know what? They're fantastic, Vancouver. I think. Wow, it's not what a player, it's what a team they are. They just work together all as a unit together, and there's a few players like you can probably name a few like Brian White and all of them who's like really shining in the team, but they are like a collective in themselves. And
They are a team. If you
adding Thomas Muller to that team has only improved them.
if you saw when they scored their winner here in Orlando, all the players went over to
they're a
congratulate
team.
him.
They're a true
And
team.
I think this group from Vancouver, if I know Mueller came in and really helped build a culture there, even though he's only been there a couple months. The MLS had videos of him saying stuff or telling the guys, don't do this, do that, while they were walking to the pitch or what have you. But
Yeah.
I think this version of Vancouver, if you go back several months and um, place this team in the Champions Cup final, I think they definitely do better and probably win it from what we saw, in
I,
person.
I, I hope any team does apart from us, but if there's any well deserved winner, I think it's them. They're a true
Hmm.
team. So
Yeah, honestly, in the West, San Diego or Minnesota, I'd like to see in the finals. And like I said, bias a little bit towards Cincinnati because I don't like East
yeah,
Coast teams, which is Philadelphia and New York, and then obviously hate everything Miami stands for. So I'd like to see Cincinnati make it. Um, it's been a long time since that city's seen a champion too. Coming from there, rooting for the Reds and Bengals, it's been 1990 is the last time that a team from there has won a professional championship. Other than Cincinnati winning the USL, we don't want to leave that out. I think they won the regular season once. Um, so,
yeah.
but yeah, moving on to Orlando City. We had a boatload of international call ups, both youth team and senior team call ups. We'll start with the youth team first. I really kind of only went. I could have went with academy players too, but then we would have had like 12. So I just went with guys that are on OCB to feature in this. Congratulations to all the players in the academy that made it. Um, but I think there were. I don't think it was 12. I think it was 7 or 8. Would have been in this. So Caraballo got the call up to Venezuela U17s. Colin Gusky got called up to uh, was it the U18s or U20s for Unite? I think it was U20s for the U.S. Tahir Reed Brown got called up to the U20s for the U.S. and Thomas Williams got called up U23s, but they're playing U21 competition, so it's not many guys that are going to be 22 or young 23 years old playing in the in that squad. Really, I know Caraballo. I know Venezuela's done well. They made it out of the group stage.
Yeah, I
Um,
watched a couple of the games they had in the U17 World Cup. We're lucky to have this young man. He's still under 18. He will be 18 next August, 2026. So I think that's when we'll be exploring more usage of this young man. As of right now, he's a high school senior, and there's a lot of limitations on what he can do. I mean, for crying out loud, his mom drives him to the games, so that's all you need to know. The kid is probably thinking about what happens next. May his
He's probably,
graduation and all that.
probably. I'll tell you what he's probably thinking about. He's probably thinking about, oh no, I have to get my homework done. That's probably what he's
Yeah,
thinking.
that's the other thing. Like he's a young man. He's still a kid,
He's a
really.
he's a kid.
So
so a funny story about who drives who to the stadium. We were me and my family was waiting outside of the stadium by where the players parked to see the players, and there was a group of people next to us, and they commented about Barrett, about my son, and I look at one of them, and the dude's a spitting image of Colin Gusky, just 20 or so years older. I go, "Are you Colin's family?" They're like, "Yeah, we're just waiting for him to come around and pick us up because they won't let us in the parking lot area." So sure enough, here comes Colin around in his big F-150 to pick his family up and drive them home from the game. It's kind of
uh,
a cool thing. Cool
that's so
thing
cool.
that
I
happened.
understand why they kicked him out. I mean, anyways, that
Kicked
was
who out? Oh,
the family.
it. I I could go on about the security over there.
Yeah, let's not, because that will be 40 minutes of the show tonight, and we
Exactly,
got a lot
Yeah.
of
exactly.
stuff.
Um, Actually, real quick, Luke was a part of that. You were there with me with the most recent altercation I had last season with your mom when we were
Oh
waiting for
yeah.
your mom to come out. But anyway, moving on before we don't go into that. The senior team also had 4 call ups. Senior internationals, 3 of them are World Cup qualifying. I believe Brekalo was involved in that too. So Marco played a crucial role this window in Croatia. Um,
I watched the game with Croatia. Man, I gotta tell you one thing, and I don't mean to interrupt, John.
you're fine.
Uh, we had heard rumors that 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 Marco wanted out because he wasn't getting along with the staff, and there was a disconnect, a professional disconnect. And I was like, oh man, that's horrible that somebody feels that way, especially after we heard that he has family in Tampa that comes to the games. So uh, and I mentioned. Oh, by the way, it wasn't on this show. It was when I was talking with our good friend Taylor Williams from Orlando City, UK, and I said, my cousin has been married to a Croatian for over 20 years, and I have interacted with Croatian people that are super nice. I said they speak Spanish. Boom, they're Latin Americans too. And then a picture surfaced of uh, uh, Oscar Pareja and his assistant uh, going to witness the game, and I'm like, wait a minute, are we being fed half cooked rumors or what? Because it seemed on the picture that having dinner together is this let's make peace, or is this like, hey man, I'm here to support you? We don't know, but Marco had an incredible game, and I gotta say, it irks me that we did not make the playoffs this year with a guy like that in our roster. It's just amazing.
And
Yeah.
what you're saying, David, I'll add to that. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both, Poppy and Marco are both professionals. I mean, we've all had days we went into work, or periods of our jobs where we, hate going in. We say we're going to quit. We're, kind of looking for a new job on the side type of deal. Everybody has periods of stretches of days, weeks where they feel like that, and maybe at the time those rumors were circulating, maybe he did feel that way, and then maybe I'm sure that Poppy and the front office sat down with Marco and kind of had it out, had a kumbaya meeting, if you will, and let Marco say his piece, and they gave their piece, and
I
they
can
were
see
able
that.
to mend things like as professionals do. And then who do we want to go with next? We'll go with Freeman. Um, you got called up again by the U.S. Looking like more and more we'll have um, somebody from our team representing the United States in the World Cup if it keeps going this way. Seems like he's the first choice right behind Serginho Dest right now. Came on late. In the U.S.'s win, had a couple really good, penetrating runs up to into the defense's final third. And then the big thing happened was the altercation at the end that he had. One, didn't know Freeman had it in him to do that because he just kind of seems like a pretty mellow guy. It was for those that watched it or saw videos of it. It was pretty scary because he ended up falling on the ground, being surrounded by opposition, and sometimes in this sport that isn't a good thing because guys will um, try to kick you while you're down, literally.
Yeah.
So luckily he was able to get out of that unscathed. Somehow didn't receive a card. Thought he kind of deserved a yellow card just out of you
Being
know
a part of the
yeah,
altercation.
just being a part of it, being the start of it. So, but he had a good game.
All of Paraguay, I don't like to mention other nationalities, other teams, not to offend people in our fan base or our audience, but it was a friendly. There was no need, no absolute need for that. I'm glad that nobody got hurt, and that was pretty much it. But the ref let that get out of control
Yep.
so fast.
And the ref, it was the same ref that was officiating the game, the match that was in Orlando back in January, February this past year. And I know from that match on both sides, he was questionable at best a lot of times. Um, then is Spicy T. Dude just dominating. Absolutely. I haven't been able to watch his games. I've seen some highlights.
He's mental. He's just
But
he's he is absolute like it's just his pace. Yeah, he's a good player.
Man, I keep saying it going this way. He may be our probably one of our best in league trades in our MLS
No,
history.
forget that. Okay, maybe Pasalic. Like
No. I'm talking about players that we traded for in the league.
no, I know, and I'm about to one up you. He might be one of the best signings we've ever made.
Well,
yeah,
wow, coming from Luke, I'm shocked here. Let me
There's been a few signings up there where we've probably threw a lot of duds out, like Muriel, but value for money,
Oh, I absolutely, my
value
friend,
for money, he has been
absolutely.
the best astronomically. Like
What we got him for? Expired bus pass and a buck fifty. I think it was next to nothing.
he was just he's just been magic. I don't even know how, why, when. It's
I mean,
baffling.
I hope coming into this next season that he that we're able to that he sees more of the field, that he's able to do what
I
he's
do as well.
doing for his national
I think
team.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. And as a island person myself, I enjoy their games. Obviously, he has incredible company in the legendary Orlando City player Kevin Molino. I believe, I think he's probably playing in Trinidad because I haven't seen him in USL or anything related to that. So perhaps Kevin Molino is doing his thing back home.
I
I'm
think
gonna have to Google him. And
I
then
think he might have
also,
retired.
was that?
I think he might have retired.
No, he's still but he's still active with the national team.
Really? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
still
yeah,
in the
yeah.
national team.
He's
Yeah,
still
he's a
out.
captain,
He's
and
still out.
then also Steven H. Dan Phillips that plays in that team, and so yeah, so like I said, I have a lot of bias towards Trinidad, but when it comes to Spicer, man, I've seen some highlights, and I'm again, I just don't see Angulo starting over this dude. I just don't. We're gonna talk about that later. I don't want to
Yeah,
steal your.
he's playing. Molino's playing in Trinidad and Tobago for Defense Force FC. He's been there since 2024. The last time his last team was the Columbus Crew. Up
Last time I saw Molino was when he came for the Kaká thing at the stadium. You guys
yeah,
Yeah.
remember?
Good friend of mine, Kobe Henry, who plays for Trinidad and Tobago as well. He's really good as well. He's like young. I know him through, my best mate. He's was his teammate in the academy for a youth side in the MLS. So he's also a decent Trinidad and Tobago player. They've got a good team. They've got a fantastic team.
Yeah, I've been to Trinidad several times. Great
Yeah.
country, great people. That's where I got my addiction to Sorel soda, and yeah, I mean, it's just and roti. But that's a story for another day. By the way, you can get great roti over there in Orlo Vista, place called Sings. They're not paying us anything, so if you want roti, that's the place to go. Pro tip.
Buffalo as well, doing bits. You know,
Brecalo, yeah, Brecalo.
he's always. There's just nothing much you need to say about him. He's just always solid. He's just
Yep.
always doing a job. And to be fair, if you're a defender, you don't want a lot of people saying a lot of things about you.
No.
If you're being talked about as a defender, it's probably not a good thing, unless you're scoring tons of goals. So if you've not really got a lot of things to say about a defender, you're doing a great job. So
Yep.
he's a good solid defender. You know,
Absolutely.
so
Most recently, I know he started a match. I think he started and then was on the bench for the two matches.
yeah.
He's actually playing in friendly, so we only have two in World Cup qualifying. Slovenia is not. I guess they didn't qualify to qualify or something.
No, I don't think they did.
But yeah, he's doing well. I actually noticed that, at least according to the Foot Mob, that they were playing in a back three, so he's getting a little more time as a center back rather than a left back. Don't know what that means for the net for our club because he
He's a
played.
center. I don't even know because I think he's a centre back.
Oh, 100%. He doesn't have the speed
No,
and
I
it's
don't know.
just in the way that Poppy plays the 4-3-3, where it changes to almost like a a three
Yeah,
three five three 3-5-2 whatever. Um, you yeah 3-5-2 so whatever. You basically with the fullbacks playing being a part of the attack. Um, Breck, we need somebody with speed over on that left side.
By the way, Slovenia lost to Kosovo 2-0, and that took him out of qualifying for the World Cup.
Okay.
Aren't Kosovo on like the
Yeah, by the way, Kosovo is on the verge of one win to make it to the World Cup.
they're the one win away, aren't they?
Yeah. Them and Albania. That will be their first World Cup for both countries.
They're playing Switzerland though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, the game that I watch Marco Pasalic was against Faroe Islands, which, by the way, broke my heart, man, because I really wanted the Faroe Islands to make it. Country of 56,000 people. So, but unfortunately, the Croatians, well, actually, technically Dalmatians, you can call them that, just nailed them.
Well, what's funny? I saw something on X today where only two of the 10 largest population size, largest countries in the world are qualified for the World Cup. And that's United States and Brazil.
is
As
it really?
Yeah, because India and China are out of it. So,
By the way, I'm just gonna big up my country for a second. We have not conceded a single goal in qualifying, and we've won all of our games. England.
oh,
That
what? Thank you for mentioning that, Luke, because that triggered the fact that
neither
Cameroon
is the U.S.
eliminated Nigeria from. I couldn't believe that the Nigeria, which is a powerhouse, world powerhouse, eliminated from World Cup contention. Uh, Once that happened, they had to like bring the army to clear the stadium. It was insane.
yeah, but shout out England for a second because
Shout out to
it,
the
it
line.
it's pretty impressive not conceding a goal in qualifying, and
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel deserves a bit of love because England fans have slewed him because he's German.
Well,
Uh,
they didn't like him a lot. A
I
portion
think
of the
I think he's freaking.
didn't like
I
him
think
because of what he did how he was at Chelsea at the end.
yeah,
But you got to remember, he also won a Champions League. Wasn't he a part of? Yeah, he was the manager at Chelsea.
yeah, it was the
When they
champion.
won
He won the Champions League with them. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a fantastic man manager. I think he's embraced the role pretty well. I think he's also dished it out as well. He's dished it out pretty well. So big up
I
England.
think he's. I even when he was with Chelsea and getting the negative publicity, I thought he
Yeah,
was.
he's handled it well.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So right after our last show, which was on what was it, November, October, whatever, at the end of October, um, we got a first in club history. That's a positive. Alex Freeman was named to the MLS Best 11. Rightfully deserved. Talks about him making it all year. We've had guys that may have deserved it in the past, but
Didn't make it because of
didn't make it. But we finally have one.
also rookie of the year,
Rookie of the year, yep.
third.
Or newcomer,
Is
what do
it
they call it? Young player of the year.
young player of the year? But still, it's still rookie of the year. I think
Yeah,
it's even a bigger compliment. But what's that? Our third now,
I
fourth,
believe so.
third or fourth.
Something like that.
Yeah. So us with young players, this one probably means a lot because he wasn't even a draft pick; he was an academy player. But
Yeah.
this one probably means a lot more. Big up Alex. Us. And
And that brings a question. He hasn't. I mean, the club picked up his option for this next year. Um, does he try to make a move in January?
I
who
wouldn't
knows?
mind.
Who
I
knows?
mean, to be honest with you, the guy
He's got.
has his ambitions. I expect the best of him in 2026. Things are gonna be changing in 2027, and we're gonna talk about that. So the time is now. I think if he makes that roster, we need to sell while the metal's hot.
I think he might stay for another maybe half a season. He might go in. He might go in July. I don't know. I don't know. He could
Well,
go.
I think if he goes in July, he'll be loaned back through
Yeah,
the end of the year.
he could also do that, but I don't know. I see him. I see him. He could stay, and he could
Yeah.
not. You just don't know. You don't know.
So I'm trying to find to see. Let's see. Looks like that was only our second. Laren, according to Wikipedia, Laren's the only one to have won it before Freeman.
DK won it, didn't he?
No, that would have
Dan
been what 21. That was Ricardo Pepi.
got it. He got robbed. He got robbed. I thought out of that then.
Yeah,
Ricardo Pepe.
I mean Pepi turned out to be a heck of a player though. What he's doing for in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
All right, and then other club news that came out. I think it was last week. Wilder Cartagena apparently is recovering well from his Achilles
Yeah,
knee.
it was
It was
ACL.
Achilles.
Achilles, it was Achilles. That's what I thought.
It was Achilles.
What which can take a while to come back from, but luckily he seems to be recovering. We signed him to a 1 year contract with an option for 2027. Um, good to see.
I think it was a smart choice to say the
Yeah,
least.
absolutely,
I don't.
absolutely.
I don't. Somebody coming off an Achilles injury, and you don't want to sign him to a 4-year contract.
No,
Uh,
absolutely not.
they've made the right choice in keeping him. Um, um, yeah, I still feel like he's a vital role to this team. He plays a good role. So 1 year extension's pretty well, and an option for another is if he
And I
goes.
feel like if he, worst comes to worst, if him and Atuesta are the two starting, I feel like Atuesta will play better off of him
Yeah,
than he did Arujo, because Arujo liked to come forward more than Cartagena does. Because Cartagena's second position is center back. So, I feel like that would really help the midfield that we know was abysmal on the defensive end this season. He, as much as your dad Luke wants to say Cartagena's lost the plot 2 years ago.
don't call him out like that. No, but I understand what he's trying to.
I do think he'd be a key piece, and especially getting the transition that we were missing, for those stretches of time this year where we couldn't, clear our lines and get the hold possession. I really do think he would
I
help with
just
that.
the only criticism I have, right, and this is it, but it's not anymore because Adarujo's gone. Okay, this is the only criticism I had is we played that double block of those two holding midfield players, and I don't like it because it's just not progressive enough. So hopefully, Pereira possibly changes the way we play next season and bring in an attacking midfielder.
Well, Atuesta can play that attacking
He
midfielder role. He's
definitely
more of an attacking midfielder as well.
he definitely can play. He's very versatile at Tuesta. So I really want an attacking midfield player. I
When
do.
you look, when he played with LAFC, he was more of an attacking eight than a holding six.
I
And
need
I
an
feel like Poppy wanted him this year to be if this doesn't make sense, but kind of an attacking six. Um, kind of a deep lying playmaker, I guess you would consider
yeah
him.
like a quarterback.
But defensively he isn't skilled enough to play that. Even have six in his behind his name. So I think with Cartagena coming in, I think that'll relieve some of that defensive responsibility from Atuesta. Let him play a little more higher up on the pitch.
And maybe
Um,
and maybe he thinks the kids are ready. Like the Guskies and the
yeah,
play.
or
Maybe,
or
maybe he
which
thinks
is
this is
what
their
we're getting
time.
to next is the latest rumor to come out is that the guy's last name's Otavio. He's an 18-year-old midfielder, plays the number 6, number 8 position. For an 18-year-old, fairly pricey. I mean, he's not the guy Madrid. He's not an attacking player, so he's not going to be the big bucks that some of these young players are. But we sent his club an offer of $5 million US dollars apparently. Um, so we seem to like what we see. It's just a rumor. No, I only saw a couple things on X, and a couple sources came out and said it, but nothing, not enough to be not
Yeah,
concrete that it was offered. I will say that as a asterisk that this is purely a speculative offer.
On
So
top
we
of
shall see.
that, they're saying that the reason why we let Araujo go was to make room for this guy. The I mean, it's Brazil.
I still
An
think
18-year-old, 17-year-old to play in the first division there is not unheard of. I know some crazy individuals that probably hit their head in the shower this morning are out there saying that this is an OCB signing. I just come on. I mean, you don't spend $5 million on an OCB
But
player.
$5 million is not an OCB signing. I mean, we spent, was it less than $1 million on Nico, and Nico only got OCB time, so he got minutes on the field, playing minutes.
something like that. Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, not for oh well. To remind everybody, Araujo only cost us like I think it's like $2 million or 1.5 or something like that.
And he was still under his U22 designation as well.
For
His
sure.
contract was still a
We got
U22.
some comments on the young man here.
International.
So
Is
Florida,
this,
go ahead. You guys want to read them off?
Yeah,
no,
it's David. Our good friend David on
Okay.
X. Basically saying Tom Bogger says Villarreal still wants him bad now, and the
Meaning
next one
that was
is
for
oh yeah, that was
Freeman.
for
Freeman.
Freeman. Thank you. And then Luis Octavio. Oh, Luis Otavio. Try to make a Brazilian accent. Is the real deal. I believe it. I actually I found his highlight reel on YouTube. Seems like every player and their mother has one nowadays, and I shared it on X. And the kid looks. I'm gonna man. I'm gonna get hit by criticism. He looks like a younger Luis Nani. That's how I
But his
looked at
number
it.
6.
He
Is
just
is
looked.
he a midfield player?
Yeah, he's a true number 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this kid looked the part on a day.
And
By
yes,
the way,
he
happy
does have
birthday,
that touch
Nani.
of Brazilian flair to him.
Yeah, Luis Nani just
He's
just
quite I don't really know. For a midfield player, he's quite tall.
Yeah.
Like he seems quite.
he's fast.
It
He's
says he's
really fast too.
it says he's quite tall. But in that picture that we have on the screen here, he doesn't look that tall, but it says he's like 5'11", which is
Yeah. 1.81 meters is what transfer market has, whatever that transfers
Yeah, it's
to.
like that's like 5'10".
yeah,
Yeah.
5'11" ish. Yeah, he looks like I don't know a lot about him. He's young, which is always a risk. It's always a risk to take. 5 million. Wow. Look at where the transfer market is.
His value on transfer market, the website, is 2.5. Um, so we must see something in him. We must know that we got to get him now. Kind of like what happened with what's his name, the player that went to Manchester City.
5'11", my friends. 5'11"
He
is
went to,
1.8.
he went to Man City.
What player did Man City steal from us, David? A couple of years ago.
Oh,
I
was it
know who I know who you're talking about.
the Colombian kid?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
from South America.
yeah, I can't remember his name, but the guy that a lot of people are saying, oh, we're involved with him, and all the big honchos of rumors were like, nah, Orlando City's not talking to him. I can't remember his name right now. I'm fighting with a 2-year-old.
Well, no, it did. It came out that we did send an offer, and then it was like we found him, and then like
Oh, you mean the Argentinian guy?
it was some. I don't remember the nationality. It was
Alvarez.
Yes,
yes.
Alvarez, the kid from Argentina. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
wasn't it Alvarez we were after?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Ah,
yes. That now is like a Manchester City superstar. By the way, good on him not to take our money, because it would have probably never happened.
We got more money to go to Europe anyway.
yeah,
That's why
I
we
found
couldn't
that
get it because
rumor
we
quite.
sent our offer in and his club accepted it. But then, like 2 days later, is when Europe
City.
caught wind of him and sent their big money offers in, and we just couldn't, especially at that time, couldn't keep up.
Guys, come on, we're
There is
poverty. We're a poverty club.
there is an alternate universe out there where Julian Alvarez has lifted an Orlando City MLS Cup.
Oh, 100%.
Telling you, there is an alternate reality where that has happened. And I want to
100%.
be in
The
that.
scout from Manchester City missed his flight, or his flight was delayed by a couple hours and couldn't catch the match, and our deal goes through and changes the course of history for Orlando City.
Yeah. Fortunately, we're living in this one.
But moving on, so that's the rumor for players that we signed Cartagena, potentially bringing in another midfielder. The other Brazilian that's kind of went dead. The striker. What's his name?
That I haven't heard.
Yeah,
You gotta refresh. I mean, I'm gonna be quite honest. Um, our squad is gonna be very, very much what you guys saw in 2025.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's not a lot of.
or
if we can,
Carlson, or
yeah,
Carlson.
if we can go over the players that were released real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Um,
so today the club released their list of players that were released, or their didn't sign a new contract, or their options were declined. And those players are Cesar Arujo, which we kind of already knew. He already posted his goodbye. Pedro Gillespie happened shortly after our last episode. And then Shaq Muhammad, Fabian Loyola, and Mercado. Their options were declined. No surprises there.
well,
Robbie,
to me, Mercado was a surprise. Be honest with you.
I think it
he's
was.
25, 26 years old playing on
Yeah.
a reserve
Oh, I
squad.
thought he was younger than that.
No,
Yeah,
Otero's the younger one.
yeah,
Otero.
I had called uh, Muhammad and Loyola. Unfortunately,
Yep.
Muhammad was a first pick. for us a while back. Was given plenty of opportunities to
We
make it to
paid
the first.
money for him.
Was that?
We paid money for him, and we got rid of Ruan for Shaq Mohammed. It was
Uh,
possibly.
Go ahead, Luca. Go ahead, because you were telling us
Yeah,
before we
I
started.
was talking about this before the show. I was saying like this will always remind me because like we traded a first team starter in Iran and $300,000 for Shaq Mohammed
for his draft pick.
for his draft pick. I don't we it was from DC United because Ruan went to DC United at the time. And I just think that I think it was the second round draft pick. So I'm only thinking at that time either the first round draft pick, the first pick of the first round was the guy that we were trying to go for and we kind of scattered to try to we didn't have a second choice, or he must have had a hell of a highlight reel because there's just no chance.
He came to us from Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken. I could be
Duke.
Yeah,
wrong.
the same
It was Duke University.
it was,
Okay, so a great program, by the way.
yeah. But I was just thinking in my head like when I remember when we got him and I was like thinking who, and then
2023, if I'm not mistaken. 2023.
yeah, it was
2022.
yeah,
I got it pulled up right now.
was 2022.
2022.
It was
So
2022.
23, 24. So we gave the guy 3 seasons. I mean, he's gonna do fantastic in USL. Nothing against him, but you know
No,
the problem here in Orlando is we don't have the time to develop anybody. You know, we're not a charity case here. You know, you either give us results right away or next man up, and
not
that sounds
necessarily.
harsh.
I wouldn't say that, but you know, you have to start producing. We
Oh
don't
no,
have
it was a
time.
2023. Well, yeah, you were right. It was a 2023 Super Draft. My
I wouldn't,
apologies.
David. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say like you know, if you're going to be a draft pick and we're going to trade you for a first team player and $300,000, we're expecting, and especially with our transfer history, like with our draft pick history, you're gonna have high expectations on your head, and it just never ever worked out. And I don't blame him. That he's just doing his job. You know, at the end of the day, you know, all respect to him. He was a good servant to OCB and sometimes for the first team, whatever. And you know, when we have the draft pick history that we have, if you're a draft pick and you're coming in the first round for Orlando City, your expectations are massive because we have got some
Especially number 2 overall.
yeah, we have got some royalty filling those boots. You know, our top scorer in the history of the club is a draft pick. I think he is still.
No,
Not anymore.
Torres
Not
been a
anymore.
draft.
Not anymore. Okay, but one of them.
Torres.
Torres.
Remember
Torres
Torres?
broke it. Torres
Top,
broke it, but
second or third.
he's the
I don't
second.
know if Ojeda
Laren's,
dropped him this year.
Laren's second or third up there.
Oh, and by the way, Juan, after leaving Orlando, went to DC, went to Montreal, went to Dallas, then briefly went back to Brazil, and I believe right now he is playing in Turkey. So
And now he's officially hit MLS veteran status because he's been playing for four or more clubs.
there
He's
you
traveled
go.
around the league. He's been around everywhere. You know, good for him though. I think I was a very bubbly, bright player. You know, I
Yeah.
always wish the best for Ruan. And
And then the other player that had an option that was declined was Robin Janssen. But I do
yeah,
understand negotiations are ongoing with him. Kyle Smith is out of contract, but we're still negotiating with him. Would be
he played too many freaking games for us.
would be surprised if Kyle resigns.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I'm sure there's an MLS club that I mean, maybe
I'm shocked that we resign Smith.
uh,
I
we
love the
haven't
guy.
we haven't re-signed him yet. It's negotiate. They're
Well,
negotiating.
still, I love the guy, but you know he's on the wrong side of 30, and he's more of a journeyman now. And
I still think he could do a job off the bench.
Yeah, I
you know
mean,
what?
but to
He
play
can,
as much as he played,
he can
I'm just
surprise
worried.
me. But
Defenders are not like forwards. They could play for flipping ever defenders.
Mm.
If you keep yourself in shape, which I think he does. I think he's a healthy
Oh,
guy.
he's in outstanding shape.
Yeah, I
There
think.
was one match. It was an away match I was watching on TV, and he was on the sideline getting ready to come in, and he like lifted his shirt up to like wipe his face or something, and the dude had a 12 pack. It wasn't even a
Yeah,
6 pack. He
defenders
was ripped.
defenders can play forever. So, I wouldn't mind keeping him around as like a bench player and him coming on.
But
But
my
yeah,
worry is, Luke, is we sign him back, and then we all know how Poppy is.
he
Poppy
plays bloody
plays his favorites.
plays every game.
right, he's
Yeah.
Smith coming off the bench is a harbinger of we're going for the tie.
Yeah,
Or the results settled.
Correct.
but I'm on about the player in this scenario. I'm not on
Yeah.
about that's a whole
And I mean,
different.
on a personal level, I still haven't gotten his jersey yet. He's the only player on the club I want the jersey of.
Yeah, he's from your town, isn't he?
Yeah,
That's
that's the
consistent.
only reason.
Yeah.
So,
No
so,
offense to the other
so if,
players. I mean, if I got other jerseys, that'd be awesome. But on a personal level, Kyle Smith,
let's
being
make it
from
happen. No,
Cincinnati,
listen, Smith,
You
my
know what?
spirit animal. I have said it before. Incredible story. I just personally, and it's not a personal attack, and I can't believe we still have to preface what we say on the show all the time. It's never personal. It's just we want to win, and this, this is the reason. These are the reasons why none of us are in the scouting business. But the reality is that I just thought we could have done better, unless Smith is willing to work for McDonald wages. In September, minimum wage in Florida went up to $15 an hour. Perhaps and that's what he's being offered. I don't know. So if he's willing to work for next to nothing just for the thrill of still being in the team, by all means, because
I
what I
think
heard is
I
that the
think
guy the
I
guy's still
think
working as a CPA to keep his license going. So, Kyle Smith can go and work on what he on what he was doing right after college and make a handsome living. So
I
if he
think
stays,
I think he could have a career in coaching possibly.
yeah.
no,
A
absolutely,
player like him, I mean, a player like him, somebody that you
Been
know
around.
isn't the most skilled, isn't the fastest, isn't the tallest, isn't the strongest,
he's just reliable,
But as a
has to
footballer,
figure out
consistent.
ways to do it. You typically those type of players make the best coaches.
yeah,
Right.
as a
Smith
footballing brain.
is consistent, reliable, and
Yep.
loyal. And you
Yeah, he
know
has a
what?
footballing brain. And
In
that's
a
what it is.
fight, that's the guy you want on your six, man. By the way, we got some comments.
Yep. Our friend David continued when I was talking about the other rumor, and I couldn't remember. It was Rick Carlson was the other rumor that keeps kind of popping up. It
Out
seems
of
like every
Tottenham
other
in
week
the
that
EPL.
that's never. He's going to be too expensive, plain and
I don't
simple.
want it.
We offered $30 million allegedly, and that was shot down.
Don,
I don't
I
want it.
gotta
I don't.
tell you, I put in on the prayer request, yes, last Saturday, that somehow Mark Wilf stops being cheap and opens the purse. Mark, if you're listening, I know somebody's listening at the front office. Mark, if you're listening, let's do a Hanukkah miracle this year for this humble fan.
I
Let's
just
open the
think,
purse. Let's go sign that player.
yeah,
I'll even bring the crowbar and jack lift to pry that wall, help him pry that wallet open to the
there you
the,
go.
the
Yeah,
Jewish
that's
center right down the road from me in Maitland to help him dish that money out.
yeah.
come on, Mark. You know what? We gotta come up with something clever to try to bully Mark Wilf at opening the purse. So we'll come up with something clever during the week,
Open
and
up
then
the
the hashtag.
bloody checkbook. What are we doing here then? What are we doing if we're not spending money? Everyone else is spending money.
Right. It's an arms race. It's a and this is the thing though. Atlanta is making playoffs next year. I said if you heard it here first, they're making playoffs next year.
They brought back
Tata Martino, which, but
yeah.
in my opinion, he should have never been fired from Miami.
Sink or swim.
Was that
Sink or swim.
absolutely? So
We
you got that.
choose to
You
swim.
got a resurgence in Charlotte and Nashville. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
That's the question here. What are we doing? I'm asking. It's rhetorical, by the
Are
way.
we cooking up something in the background that we're just not, or are we like, you know, are we just gonna stay the same?
I've been told, and I've seen insider guys, Tom Bogert mainly, say that we are going to be very active this transfer window.
I
What that
pray
means
because
for us being very active means we bring somebody in on January 15th and
I
not
pray because
February 5th.
what our DMs say is that 2026 is where pain is gonna be landing. That's why that's why I haven't been as joyful. I haven't cut the holiday spirit because quite honestly, what people that claim to be insiders and and this coming from accounts where we don't know their names or anything. Um, they claim that 2026 is gonna be painful. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I need to psych myself up for another 2018,
Another
but
disappointment.
but if people are saying, people that we know, that we trust, are saying that it's gonna be different, then by all means, please, because I'm devastated.
Yeah.
Um,
We do have some players whose options were exercised as well. In no particular order, Sukato's option was exercised. Ojeda, obviously, you'd be dumb not to exercise his option. Tuesta's option was exercised. Freeman, like we said earlier, his option was exercised. Spicer, his option was exercised, and Gerbe. So all those his option was exercised. So all those players are under contract through 2026.
and it's important to mention, John, that some of those guys are either recovering from injuries or coming back from injuries.
Yes.
So it's
I hope Jabay comes back stronger than ever.
oh, I hope so, man. I love that
Oh, I
French.
forgot Angulo. Sorry, I missed the one that we didn't want to hear in
And you
Angulo.
had to
Oh,
bring down. Come on, John.
well, I was
Real
bigging
French.
up Jabay, and you just
But
ruined the night.
the positive news is he doesn't have an option remaining. The players that do have options remaining for 27 is Sukato, um, Ojeda, Cartagena has one with his new contract. Spicer, Gerbe, um, were the players that were renewed, and then guys that will be on um, their contract will be ending with either options or just ending in 27 in 20 yeah in 27. I'm sorry, in 26 is really just Luis Muriel, or no, I'm sorry, it's Luis Muriel, Angulo, Atuesta, and Freeman are the ones ending in
All
26.
right.
By the way, this is a perfect transition. I am starting a GoFundMe page to buy out Muriel's contract. If anyone wants to donate, go ahead because I am starting it because
All right. So
he's
I'm gonna tell you,
checked out.
this is what the streets are saying. Not me, David Valentin, and not our podcast. We don't know. What the streets are saying is that the club offered Muriel half of his salary to buy him out, and he said no. If that's true or not, we don't know. But that's what people are talking about, right? I'm talking in platitudes. I'm talking in abstracts here. So if that's true, then to be honest with you, this is my personal opinion. Everything that I have heard of him behind closed doors is not positive. He seems like a guy that fleeced us for all that money, and he doesn't care. I mean, we saw over the weekend him talking in Colombia how he with a juniors jersey on, saying he couldn't wait to wear that shirt. Well, Luis, if that's what you want, we could make that happen. Buy you out and send you with our best wishes to Colombia so you can do your thing. $4 million, and the production that we have gotten from him is outrageous. The worst signing in club history. Worst DP
And
signing.
here's the worst thing, David, before you get too far along, is he's the reason we signed him in February and not in July. Because he didn't want to stay at Inter the rest of the season. He wanted to leave so he could have quote unquote more playing time. And then he comes here, and anytime he makes a mistake, he's just laughing about it. You want to
It's just
sit here and
mean.
think it's a joke, and it's a early retirement for you, and you can just have fun. Tell that to my three. By next year he'll be four, but it happened this year multiple times. Tell my 3-year-old son that's that we have to explain why it's okay that Orlando City lost when you're out there laughing and and not even trying, dancing with the ball and everything. Meanwhile, my 3-year-old son's crying. Me and Luke are ready to punch a brick wall through because we're so angry, and you're sitting here treating it like it's an early retirement.
Listen, it's about effort. The practices are open to the journalist, and I'm not gonna say, but people have told me that the guy is the same guy you see on game day is the same guy at practice, and that's disappointing. And I have said
And
it
he
before.
had the audacity, David, because I knew you guys weren't there, at our jersey reveal to go up on stage and say he couldn't wait to bring winning football and bring goals to Orlando. He is nothing but a scumbag and a liar. The sooner he gets out of Orlando, the better. And I'm done with him. I was so excited when I saw he was coming because I
I'm
knew
over
his
it.
name already from previous World Cups and from him playing in Italy. I was so excited for him to come be a part of our team. It literally took me about 4 matches to be over him.
Yeah, he's just been his demeanor, his playing style, his effort, his lack of desire. It's everything.
And
Can't believe I'm saying this because this is like
Yeah, we're
running,
not gonna
this is
dedicate
like
more time.
this is
It
like
is
running on quote on this bloody show. It's embarrassing.
yeah, no, I mean it should be an embarrassment. He should he if and I'm not, but if I was of Colombian nationality, I would I would reject the citizenship. I would be so embarrassed that some with the footballing soccer heritage that country has, for him to show up and do that and play the way he has and give his little effort, he's an embarrassment
my, my,
to
my
his country.
brother. He's getting paid $4 million, and he knows that nobody is gonna give him that money.
He's not.
And
He's robbing. He's committing, David.
it's football
Genuine
terrorism.
robbery.
It's football terrorism. We know that, and
Is it
I
disgrace?
for the people that feel that we're out of pocket by saying that, I'm sorry. That we all work in our jobs. Luke is a student, but he still works in his education.
Shout out my dad. He pays for my season tickets still, and he's
Okay,
sick of Muriel.
there you go. So all right, so there's three families represented on the screen that go out there and work to pay for those tickets, and I'm on record. You can quote me. The people that hate my guts can go ahead and cut this and share it on your private groups and your chat groups about me. I know that they're out there. um and you can hear me say this. I do not mind losing to a better team, and I don't mind losing if I feel that the players played to win the game, gave effort. Okay. Unfortunately, that's not the case with this player. That's not the case with the team. The last 2 months of the 2025 season were horrific, and we can dance in circles talking about what went wrong. But when we needed Luis Muriel to be the player of his pedigree, the player of his resume, he checked out because this is not important to him. And how do I know this? How he behaves on practice, how he behaves on game day, how he behaves with the fans, how he behaves like listen, we're paying $4 million for a guy to do cardio some days. That's outrageous. And then he gets mad when he gets put on the bench, as if nothing. He didn't do anything to earn that bench. I'm sorry,
Oh,
if we can buy him out, we can bite the bullet and then just go and get somebody that wants to be here. Because you know what? I guarantee you that Kyle Smith wants to be here. He put him as a striker. Kyle
That's what
Smith
he played in college. He was a striker in college.
right. He wants to be here. Let's do that. Listen, God, I rather play with 10 players and be punished and penalized the whole way to decision day that play with 11 men if that one man is not committed, uncoachable, unplayable. He's not a team player. He's not out there to represent the hopes and the dreams of the people that pay his salary, that stand in those terraces. That's what I want. If Luis Muriel is not all in, and you know what, if this year they're gonna make the bad decision of allowing us to talk to Pareja in the event, woo, Oscar, I'm coming in hot
I'll
because
be
I'm
there
gonna
too, and
ask
I'm
you that.
coming in hot.
I'm gonna
he
ask you
needs,
that. I got
no, but he needs, this is what he needs, right? This is what he needs. He needs an Ojeda type comeback. Because if you remember, right, and it's a bit different because we didn't even know who Ojeda was, right? This guy, we know who he is. And I just genuinely think he's just pissing about and he just doesn't care, right? He needs an Ojeda type comeback times 10, right? So I need about 30 goals next season with 15 assists if he's even going to be considered for next year.
no, for
And
sure.
like,
And I will say we'll say this.
and the season
David talked
after.
about the last 2 months, and then we'll get to comments. But David talked about the last 2 months. What happens with you get a bushel of apples and one apple's rotten, the rest rot. So if
Yeah,
you have
all
one
right.
player who probably you know a lot of the guys on the team when Muriel came here looked up to revered his name. Why, if he's not trying and he doesn't give a lick about what's going on the pitch or in training, why should they? And that's not giving them an excuse, but that's kind of the reasoning.
Yeah, like he's one of these again. A big thing. He's one of these people who should be. He's the most experienced. He's the oldest, one of the oldest in the locker rooms, and he's well known around the footballing world for being in Serie A and Atalanta and all of that. He should be one of these players who takes charge and shows like Nani, for example, Nani, who has a work ethic, goes out, gives 100% every day, goes out. You look at Nani and you think that's a hard-working footballer. Muriel is the complete flipping opposite of Nani. He looks like he walked into this team and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna, I don't know, get a coffee this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's
No,
like,
he's
I'll
and
probably
this is coming because I have buddies that play pool pretty seriously. Muriel's legacy in Orlando isn't going to be on the soccer pitch. It's going to
what
be
legacy?
scamming people at the pool tables.
What legacy? What legacy is
No,
he gonna have?
it's going to be at the billiards table, Luke, and that's coming from people I know. I had a buddy text me back in the middle of the season asking if I knew somebody named Luis that played for Orlando City, and he said he played him in pool, that he's pretty decent. And he since texted me saying he's seen him at several other pool halls and pool clubs, billiards, whatever you want to call it.
He's
Um, so that's going to be, if he leaves any legacy here, that's the legacy that he's going to leave is his talent at billiards or at pool, and not on the soccer pitch. But let's get to these comments. We got several more comments here. David, I'll click on them if you want to read them off.
If Luke can do me a favor, might throw this.
Okay, go ahead, Luke.
Oh, so who's this?
David.
Fladula?
That's David.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
David.
David from
Okay, David said, we're going back to the point of the arms race. Open the wallet and get rid of this guy. Guy doesn't care about the badge. He's got to go. I think he's on about, Muriel.
Muriel. Yeah.
I think he's on. He's also allegedly a part of the locker room cliches and Discord. Yeah, I could see that definitely. And then Ahmed said, Muriel should have the same impact as Thomas Muller has had on the Whitecaps. I completely agree. I
But
think
by the
that.
way, John, you mentioned that Luis Muriel likes to play pool.
That's what I understand. Yeah, a couple of my buddies from around town have texted me.
Okay, then that proves that what we heard, what transpired in the negotiations is true. It's not a rumor. It's a fact.
What
Uh,
he gets a pool table.
no. Okay.
Well,
Somebody
just
was
we'll just drop it. Just he's a good pool player, and he cares more about
okay.
playing pool than
Well, then it proves what we heard was
yeah.
true, and makes me dislike him even more. So
What
that's
does he get
we're
like
gonna
a?
leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that.
Does he get like a pub discount? Like
Yeah,
on nights?
we'll talk about it. If I
We'll
say it
talk
now,
about it later, Luke.
Yeah,
our source will be
yeah.
betrayed. But
We got a lot. We still it's 10:25, and we still got one
yeah,
minor
let's
thing and
just
one
go.
big
Let's just
thing to
go.
cover.
Yeah, let's just run it.
So
Run it.
last
Run it.
week
Run it. Run it. Run it.
on
Run it.
Thursday, the MLS owners had their annual meeting, and it turns out that there's no MLS season pass left. That it's all going to be on Apple TV, and that so if you rumor is if you have a season ticket in the MLS that you automatically get Apple TV as a part of your season ticket. I do not have my season tickets anymore, so I haven't received any emails. Can you, David, confirm that? Have you gotten anything
Yeah,
about?
basically what it is before it was season MLS season pass. If you had that, you had no access to the rest of Apple Plus. Now it's one and the same. So if you pay for Apple Plus, then you get MLS as part of the available package. So if you like the shows that they have, then MLS is gonna be treated like one. I think it's beautiful. It's fantastic because the fact that if I want to watch the rest of Apple Plus, I have to pay more money on top of the hundred something dollars, whatever it was. As a season ticket holder, I was getting it for free. I just thought it was obscene. A lot of a lot of people are saying that this is just a symptom of the fact that Apple Plus really wants to like dump MLS. This is not really what they wanted. But there's also rumors that they are going after other football products, perhaps some European leagues, South American leagues, and MLS is just the guinea pig. If that's the case, then we can still be part of the umbrella. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that we're behind a paywall, but if you look at how it was before when we were on ESPN and Fox Sports, that's sort of a paywall because you gotta pay for
Like
um,
ESPN Plus.
yeah, for cable to see it. And when we were playing local, if you remember, the complaint from a lot of people was if they were outside of the Orlando market, they were unable to watch the game. Like, there was a lot
Yeah,
of people in Polk County, in
Uh,
Sumter, that like, hey, I can't catch the game because,
well,
my
even if you were in the Orlando area, there were depending on your how you got TV, like Hulu or YouTube or other
correct.
ones, it would be blacked out, and you couldn't watch it on the local channel.
Right, and I remember being down south for work, and because my phone number starts with 407, it would have been blacked out. I'm like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Like, why? I'm just outside of the area. Why are you blocking me?
Yep.
But
So this is a lot like what a lot of the top leagues have. Um, you know, uh, Premier League with NBC and Peacock, Serie A with Paramount, and then the Bundesliga and I can't remember what Spain's is called, but Spain's
La Liga.
La Liga. Thank you.
Yeah,
I knew
the
that.
league basically. Yeah.
Yeah, Bundesliga and La Liga have with ESPN, where unlike ESPN and Peacock, there's not the actual TV channels that you can watch them on. And even then, with especially ESPN, it's very limited matches are actually on ESPN or ABC for La Liga and Bundesliga. It's really you have the Milan Barcelona matches that'll be on
Yeah.
maybe, and then the maybe Bayern and Dortmund will be on, but
And I have to say that the production value, awesome. I prefer to watch the games in Spanish, and the staff next. I mean, superb. Of course, I'm gonna be biased. Our good friend Sergio and Miguel are part of that. They're Orlando guys through and through, and I'm happy that A, they're making more money. B, they're getting an international exposure. So I mean, like, I don't have any
and
complaints.
Evan Weston did our playoff match, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. You know where I saw Evan Winston? On a
No,
side note,
wait. Uh-huh.
I saw
I heard
Evan
about.
Winston at the Osceola Magic game, doing the narration on that as well.
Nice.
So, but by the way, if you like the Magic, Osceola Magic is a affordable option. It's like it's like OCB. So me and my son, we had a great time. It was awesome.
Awesome.
It's a little pricey though, but it's cheaper than an NBA really.
What were you going to say, Luke?
No, I heard about that. That he was like he did the game. Evan Weston. I've not heard about him for a while since like
Well, he
return to.
usually
He was doing
does
radio.
radio and
Yeah, I know he does the
the
radio and stuff.
extra media stuff the club does on
Right, right.
Yeah,
Which, by the
I know
way,
he's still in.
the club needs to go back to have a podcast. Yeah,
They
I'm
won't
saying,
do that. They
they,
won't dip down to our level.
no, they did for many years with Tom
No,
and
I
Dan.
know. Well, I mean, they basically do have a podcast, which is what they do on Friday evenings.
Yeah, with Evan and Miguel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess you can consider. I mean, yeah, I guess
it
that.
used to be Gabby and Miguel, but yeah, it's now 11 and Miguel. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So no, it's important that the club doesn't lose the connection with the fans. You can't just surrender all your news to guys like us. We don't know anything. So
yeah, definitely. All right, I don't know what happened to Luke, but moving on, we also on Thursday the MLS came out and made I'd say very controversial decision. Definitely has its many pros, many cons, where they're changing the competition calendar. Now instead of being
My bloody internet crashed.
oh, it's all right.
no, it's all good, brother.
So now instead of being from late February, early March through late November, early December, they're now going to start in mid July, play that mid July through mid December, take 2 months off, pick back up in mid February, and the finals will be towards the end of May. So, kind of mirroring a little bit more of what they do in Europe. It'll be interesting to see what they do for
More like
Leagues
Tim.
Cup and US, especially the more important one, US Open Cup, since US Open Cup traditionally takes place during the summertime. And then also Champions Cup, what they're going to do about that, since that generally takes place in the early spring or early spring into early summer.
Yeah, on that, to me, I applaud the decision in the sense that it matches the windows with world football. The teams that I follow overseas already play those dates anyways. I think it's gonna be detrimental to Orlando City because a lot of our fan base from Europe, will catch games in June, July, August, and that's no longer gonna be an option. So with that said, the jury's still out. I mean, I know that this news comes out after we watch the Canadian Premiership Championship with the Orange Bowl and the snow. So I don't know. I mean, that 2 month break, it's necessary, but will that slow the enthusiasm for the league? That remains to be seen. And also, and very important, is the fact that that the fact that I'm sorry, guys. I'm fighting over here with the little one. That is very important. Is will this will this kill the league, the momentum, the fanatism? Because it's gonna put us head to head with NFL and NHL, MLB. So right now we sort of like we were on the sidelines with that, but to me, no heat, no rain. So perhaps that's a positive. What do you think, Luke?
I'm buzzing. I can't wait. I can't stand the summer heat in like there. I remember when I was like, I'm so susceptible to heat stroke. It's unbelievable. Like the heat here is just, mental. I'm buzzing. You know, um, we know we're an Orlando podcast, so we can't speak for everyone else on the league. I know it's probably going to be torment for other teams and like that, but I'm buzzing that we've gone to this schedule change because well, all of us know when we go to the games in July and June and stuff, it's bloody boiling. It's like it's the worst thing ever. It's
Especially when we had kickoffs at 12:30 and 1 p.m.
1 p.m. kickoffs on a bloody Saturday in like July is the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's it's ridiculous. So I'm buzzing that this schedule change is happening because we're actually going to probably get some decent weather, and yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to the Pride match yesterday. I texted the guys and was like, "This is going to be fabulous," but I still have my reservations because living up north for 22 years, like I did, um, it worries me because okay, cool, December, January, half of December, all of January, and half of February we're taking off, but I think I counted it 13 teams. Really 12 teams, or 10 teams, but 13 teams can realistically see snow and bad weather to where they may have to cancel matches or play matches in snow from late October to mid to late April. And
But
there's a handful
John,
that'll see it even longer. But, and it's
What we have to think about, right, is that they voted on this,
no,
so
I
teams
understand
have
that. It's because they think the
they've
money's
already
going to be better. But
they've probably already thought about this.
it's the MLS, Luke. Come on.
Well,
They
I
think about
mean,
the
you've got
almighty dollar. So yes, they did think about it, and that leads me into this. So that means in July, August, September, and October, we're going to see a lot of away matches, and then November, half of December, half of February, most of March, we'll see a lot of home matches, and then the last month of the season, month and a half of the season, we'll see quite a bit of away matches. There's already been rumors of that and some speculation that that's going to happen, that they're going to, front load and back load the roster with northern teams having home matches. So where does
no,
that leave teams in the South and on the West Coast for, especially, for the beginning and the end of the season? And I just, I don't. There's that, that's the big question for me. Everybody worries about college football. Guess what? The playoffs are still going on. College football is still going on. College football's last weekend is 2 weeks away, and we still have 3 weeks of the playoffs to go. Two and a half months of our regular season, or a month and a half of our regular season, goes up against college football in the NFL.
To me, the five divisions of six teams and the single table, it's is the big takeaway of that decision. It appears that we're gonna play home and away in our little pod, which is rumored to be Miami, Orlando, Nashville, Tampa, uh, um,
Charlotte.
Nashville, Atlanta, and Charlotte and DC. So we're gonna be home and away with those guys, and then we're gonna play everybody else at least once, and that will be our 34 game season.
Give
Um,
me, give me a few more Florida teams in there. Just
Oh, I'd agree.
like a
Me and Luke would be doing away days every other weekend. Then if
yeah,
we had
well,
one or two more,
that's the
we could
reasoning
travel around
behind
the
the
bloody
pod.
state.
That's
Give
the
me
reasoning behind the pod.
Jacksonville and bloody Tampa.
No, for sure. Listen, the one thing I envy of my friends overseas is the way they culture that we unfortunately don't have here. Anytime I met people from Europe at the games, they always ask me, "Oh, where's the away fans?" I'm like, "Well, I sit in the south side. I'm like, well, they're above us if there's any, And sometimes, depending on who we play, when we play Vancouver, I don't think there was any other fans there. Maybe one or two here and there, but unfortunately, our continental league does not provide for easy access. Because if I was a young single man with no kids, I would, yeah, for sure, I'll be jumping on airplanes, collecting mileage, sky miles and all that like crazy. But I as you can see, if you're watching this, I got children, I got job, I got things to pay and all that crap. So I can do it. So that's the idea. That's the purpose.
people talk like it's going to help transfers. To me, with the way the team salaries are structured around the league and everything, the MLS is going to get who the MLS is going to get. This isn't going to cause Mbappe and you know and the top players to want to come and play here now.
Yeah, they're not gonna come here at their
We
prime. They're
get
gonna
who we get. We're going to get the big signings for a club in general is going to be, you know, somebody like Marco Pasalic that had his time, got his foot in the door of one of the big teams, and then some, injuries happened. Or it's going to be the guy that like a Mueller that or Messi and company that's towards the end of their careers. We're never until they change the salary structure and raise the cap, raise the number of DPs, get away for get where transfer fee isn't a part of doesn't go into the salary cap, so you can sign better DPs. Until they get rid of all of that stuff, the quality of transfer isn't going to drastically change like some people are saying it's going to. You know, it makes it easier and makes more sense now that we our main transfer window is going to be July like everybody else, but I don't think it's going to change who comes into the league all that much.
Yeah, we also need it. I'm also excited for January transfer window. Are we having one? A January transfer window. Are we aligned with that?
I believe that they're going to align. I believe they're aligning the transfer windows more
Yeah,
closely to what there is.
yeah, I'd love to have a January transfer window. Like middle of the season, get some players in to strengthen your season, and then go from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back to the weather thing too, especially like being in Cincinnati and Chicago, Minnesota, Columbus, even Nashville to a point. can some of the worst weather can come in mid
Those
to late.
people live there for a reason. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're Floridians. We complain about the heat, but we still live here. And we went out there to those games where it was so hot that your phone will say, "Hey, shut me down because the heat, because of the heat, I can't operate."
Yeah,
Uh,
fam. It's like it's ridiculous.
so I'm not. The people are saying, "Oh well, there's snow." Well, you choose to live in Minnesota, so it is what it is. A scientific fact is that North America is 15 degrees colder in the winter than Europe, and we get more precipitation, or snow. So there's that, and like for me, the fact that I don't have to deal with the heat and the rain delays and all that, it's a win-win. So
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would completely agree with that. That it's going to be, you know, personally, it's going to be much better. Plus, it gives us a reason to wear our winter gear. Now instead of us complaining about 40, $50, $60 t-shirts, we're going to be complaining about $400 jackets that they have for merch of the match now.
genius move.
So, and the divisions, the single table and divisions is an interesting thing. I want to know if that means that they're going to be lessening the number of teams in the playoffs now, because of
I
that.
hope they do. I hope they do.
And
Make
now,
make the season worth something, and
yeah,
also it's gonna be beneficial if you're playing in CC Concacaf champion. You're going into that tournament mid-season, not preseason, to get smashed by Mexican teams,
well,
and
that's what I'm
let's get
saying.
rid of
Are
League
they going to change Champions League, Champions Cup, whatever it's called, to be more like Europe, where they start it in late August, early September now, instead of starting in February? Oh, David, you're muted or your mic shut off
Oh,
something.
sorry, I muted. They're probably gonna have it as the way it is right now, which is because you gotta remember that Mexico, they're not changing their calendar. They do have already. They do take a break in December, so that's gonna be one of the things that's gonna happen. And then you got Open Cup, which now is gonna be played at the end of our season. Now, one interesting question is is USL gonna follow through, changing their calendar?
Well, yeah,
Because
because you got to think too, David, is the U.S. Open Cup with the way the roster has to
right,
be submitted. If it goes through the summer and with the exits and additions, are they going to allow the new additions to play in the tournament, or like, well, let's say this, potentially like what could have happened with Orlando City this year, where we could have realistically seen 4 or 5 players exit the team. Are we going to have to go with 4 or 5 less players on our roster in June and July to if we make it that far to compete in the U.S. Open Cup, or are they that that's another thing they need to do. I know that's not on the list of priorities for the MLS. They've proven that.
Obviously not. The US Open Cup is like almost second class citizen for the league. They don't want it.
Yeah, which just proves even more so why I'm about half done with this league.
Reason number 145,000 of why we're done with the MLS.
Yeah. So we'll see. I still foresee a time where if the USL does change, I still do foresee it in the relatively near future that the MLS merges or buys or whatever you want to put it with USL, and then we'll have at least a 3-tier, if not a 4-tier system then, because I feel like that's what
Bring the
the next
national
big decision is: promotion relegation with the MLS, um,
please,
because because
please
it's getting to the point you want to be stuck in the second division. That's
yeah.
where we'll be. The way this ownership group is.
Forget that. Put me in the fourth division.
Hey, at least we may be allowed to do flares and stuff then.
Yeah, put me in the fourth division.
But I mean, it's just it's change. There's a lot of people that don't like change, and it will be nice to not be, you know, sweating. Lose 5 pounds because you sweated so much throughout the day. Um, the was it last year I said to you during the playoff, the which playoff match was it? Who did we play after? No, it was the Charlotte match. It was the last Charlotte
Yeah,
match
it's
last year.
Charlotte match.
I'm like, now this is soccer weather because it was we were in and out of jackets depending on
No,
how
right?
rowdy we were getting,
Yeah,
and
this is great weather. Like,
so personally that will be nice. Tailgates will be a lot more bearable.
yeah,
So I mean, it's just there's a lot that they have to figure out, and then the other thing that they're doing is in 2020. So all these changes, we didn't quite get to that. Get state that at the beginning. All these changes are taking place in 2027. So what they're going to do in 2027 is in mid February they're going to start a mini season of, I believe it's 14 matches, and call the people, call kind of like an MLS is back type of deal. How they did it during COVID, um, where they have a shortened season, 14 matches, and then playoffs. Um, and then those people will be crowned quote unquote MLS champions of 2027, and
I
then
tell
that'll
you
be.
what, we were in that final. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind
We
it.
were in the MLS back final, not the MLS Cup final of that
No, I
year.
said the MLS is back tournament
Yeah.
final. I said I wouldn't mind a little pre. I wouldn't mind a little season that we can get claimed champions again,
At least you get a star over our badge.
even if it's in brackets.
Hey, I'd rather have that than have it like Miami or Atlanta, and everybody knows they have an asterisk behind there.
Yeah,
At least it's the same situation everybody else is involved in.
yeah.
So it's exciting. So there's still details on exactly when the new what date obviously the new season will start. We just know mid July it'll start. Mid December they'll start a break. Mid February they'll resume back. They'll resume matches again. So they're basically so the with the break they're basically stopping a couple weeks earlier than the current regular or current season ends, including playoffs, and then they're picking back up a couple weeks earlier than the new season would begin. And then obviously taking about a month and a half break in the summer. So it'll be a change. It was funny. Denzel, one of the Nashville social people, um, said, "What am I going to do with my summers now? Socialize?" Which I thought was pretty funny. Which honestly, you're not missing. You're missing from what it looked like about 6 weeks, and that's it. I mean, we've had stretches of 6 weeks of not even having a home match in a regular MLS season. With when we've had it happen, not this past season in 2024, it happened where we didn't have a home match for the whole month of, I think it was April, and the first week or two of May. So a lot of change. We'll see what they do for the World Cup if they start a little bit later for the World Cup to give the players in the league that are competing in that tournament a couple extra weeks to prepare for it, or if they'll just go right into it as normal. And that's the other nice thing is it sounds like that the league will be getting international breaks will be off for the league as well, which will be nice. Which we've been very fortunate the last couple years to have most international breaks where we don't have a match. You're muted, Luke.
I've been talking that whole time, um, but yeah. I said that would be nice to have that because we do have a lot of players now who are internationals. So
Yeah. So a lot of things. Quick programming note. We'll be back in probably late December after the draft, unless big news breaks again. We'll try to do at least a show a month leading up to the season, and then probably late February. I would imagine we still have to decide pick it up again. Don't forget that we're adding stuff to the show. This next year we're going to be doing a program called Extra Time. That'll we still have to do the particulars of it. It'll either be live directly after this, or it'll be recorded and then put up the next morning. We're going to be doing more on TikTok with match previews. Just doing a little video about the upcoming match, as well as other things on our social medias that we're going to be trying to add this next year. But we'll be back stronger than ever come the new season. Keep your comments coming. We greatly appreciate it. If you're watching and you aren't already following us or subscribed to us, we're at in 90 minutes or at in 90 minutes pod on every platform: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Blue Sky, and YouTube. We're all in there. Follow us, subscribe. We try not to post anything that's rumored. We try to stick with the facts, stick with our gut feeling on things, and give our true perspective on it. Because unlike other shows out there that will remain nameless, we don't have a press pass. We don't care to have a press pass. All of us pay for the tickets ourselves, and that gives us the freedom to give our honest opinions about how we feel about the state of the club, the state of the league, all those things. We don't have that fear of losing that press pass. So if you're watching and haven't yet, give us a follow on our socials. Do you guys have anything to add to wrap up?
hoping for a better season next, and excited for what's to come. Hopefully excited what's to come.
It's the hope that kills you, Luke.
I was trying to be positive.
Oh, yeah,
It is
yeah.
the
Just like
little bit amounts of positivity is it's too much.
just like Luke, I just want a better 2026. We'll see how it happens. If we don't get to talk to you guys before the end of December, uh, hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving that's coming up next week. Wow, I can't believe
Yeah.
next week. And then, also a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever, Happy Festivals, whatever you celebrate. And also, we wish you a healthy and very prosperous 2026. So
Wish the team for
hopefully,
that as well.
yeah, for sure, brother. So hopefully, we get to have some good news. I think based on what we know, Oscar will remain the manager. Our roster will remain mostly intact with some additions, and yeah, come late February, root for the boys.
Yep.
That's about it.
Well, we already, I didn't know how to do this, Luke, and I just thought of it. Well, we already started off with winning ways for our crew. Luke, if you want to say what you just won a little bit.
Oh no. Winning ways. What do you mean? Sorry.
Luke was in a national debate.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was in the diplomacy program. Sorry, if you don't
His,
know, I'm at the diplomacy program at FAU. Basically, I represented the Dominican Republic for the last 16 weeks, 14 weeks. Yes, and we placed seventh in the nation, which is disappointing, but also not disappointing as well.
Come on, bro.
I feel like we should have done better. well, I should have done better personally. And um, yeah, we just move forward. We go again next semester in New York, and we go from there. So yeah,
Oh, awesome, awesome.
The positivities have started already.
Oh, so that's great, Luke. I'm very happy for you. Mazel tov on that. No, that's awesome. Listen, only six other people can say they're better than you in the nation. That's something commendable, sir.
yeah,
Commendable.
and we move forward. We move forward. We move
Yep.
forward.
All right, David, you do the closing better than me.
All right. Once again, thanking everybody that watched us live, everybody that is gonna watch this later, everybody that's gonna listen to us later, and we say goodbye the only way we know how. By reminding everybody that football is cruel and unpredictable. Football is played on grass, not on paper. Football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you really football? From myself, John, Luke, our good friend Ahmed, who was in the comments there briefly. May God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!